I started playing Hill Climb Racing 2 in 2020. At the time, I knew almost nothing about the game, so I played my way and made a lot of mistakes. Some of these mistakes cost me a lot of time and nerves, so to help you avoid making them, I decided to create a list of 25 things you should know about Hill Climb Racing 2. Some of them are intended for complete beginners, but others are for more advanced players, so stick to the end. So, when I started playing Hill Climb Racing 2, I really wanted to get great results in adventure with a few vehicles, and I made probably the biggest mistake a beginner can do. I scrapped parts in almost every other vehicle to get most of the parts maxed in the vehicles I wanted. I still have the account where I did it, and there are still traces of it. But in making this mistake, I also made the second mistake because I thought tunes are better than parts. I had a lot of vehicles with level 1 parts and near max tunes, which made the game difficult at times. But other than that, after learning this lesson, I made the third mistake on my current account by upgrading useless parts because I wanted more garage power. I quickly realized that it's better to upgrade useless parts for free and then upgrade them when you really need them. Moving on to the next thing you should remember, to never use random setups. Always use the correct setups. And even though my name is Potato, I don't have a potato brain, so I didn't make that mistake.
How stupid do you have to be to make this mistake?
I don't know, Leo, but the next thing is also very important. If you want to play adventure like me, you should upgrade the kangaroo setup in each vehicle. Even if a vehicle doesn't have the kangaroo setup, you shouldn't forget to upgrade wings as they are useful in every mode. But if you want to be a professional player in every mode, you should upgrade every useful part in every vehicle. Not to mention team events where you should always have good level of parts to help your team defeat your opponent. Fortunately, I also did many things well. I always claimed everything for free that I could, and because of that, I saved and also earned a lot of coins and even gems. This is probably the best tip for any player, as sometimes I see people losing some of their coins because they just can't wait to claim every free upgrade on a new vehicle. And speaking of free stuff, you should also get every blueprint and adventure token you can, unless you already have some of them. These items are very useful, and if you get some, you will be able to immediately buy a new adventure map or a new vehicle whenever it gets added. But what about the gems you can save using the 7th tip? Well, you can spend them on very important things like cup chests, public events, and masteries. This will definitely help you progress in the game. But how to get cup chests? They can be obtained by driving in the season. However, you probably wouldn't win every time, and sometime you would get 0 points before the last round, and your nerves might increase. In this situation, you should never quit the race using the button, as Fingersoft recently added that you cannot lose any points if you get the last place in a race.
That's very cool, but how can I earn points faster?
If you're going to drive in the last round, but you're at least 3 points ahead of the second place, you can safely kill yourself. However, after getting some points, you'll have to race the boss, which can be quite difficult, especially when it is on a map you don't like. But I have a solution for this. You can change the language in the settings, and the boss race will take place on a different random map.
I'll throw in my own tip. Always check how to play a team event before playing it. It's quite nerve-wracking when you lose all your free tickets, and you may even mindlessly spend your special tickets because due to nerves.
Nice tip, Leo, but now let's move on to the pay-to-win part of the game. If you want to spend some money on HCR2, you should only buy VIP and bundles with gems, because they're only useful and profitable. You should also never buy just gems or tickets for featured challenges unless you're rich. But speaking of the bundles, you shouldn't buy them if they only contain coins. It's just a waste of money. Now, let's speak a little about teams. So, if you reach the gold rank, you can join a team or create one yourself. But to be honest with you, I have to say that your team wouldn't go anywhere if you don't have any connections. Besides, as Leo said, you should never use your special tickets when your nerves go up. You should also never use them if you fail on the first track. But if you're a new player, you should also remember not to use the coin glitches, as they can either get your account banned or waste your time. Better to just play the season or adventure. So I've already given you some basic tips, but I know most of my viewers are probably at least the legendary rank, so I have some advanced tips for you. The first one is very advanced. If you didn't know, every vehicle has a hitbox. Thanks to this, some good and bad things were discovered, such as the scooter bug, as well as the tactic on how to get 5K with rally car in Intense City. But there are many basic things that can happen to you, such as missing a fuel or losing the balance of your vehicle. This is really annoying, so try to prevent it by trying to collect a fuel with the entire vehicle and not doing random tricks while playing. Many of you are probably wondering how to gain higher speed and cover huge distances in adventure. The solution is very simple. Just remove the parts of a vehicle such as the roof or hood. They make your vehicle slower and harder to control. But when going for a long distance or for the max stars, you should always check the correct setup and strategy on Zoro's Discord server, because sometimes, for example, you have to keep bus not broken. Also, if you don't know the map you're playing on, you shouldn't rush it. Check it out on YouTube first, then drive it the way you want. Personally, I have made this mistake many times, and it has cost me a lot of time and nerves. Let's go back to the pay-to-win category for a moment. I've talked about this in my previous videos, but if you didn't know, paints change the vehicle physics in the game. Sometimes, for example, you need to use a specific paint if you want to achieve a specific record. But some paints are useful almost every time. There are 3 such paints. These are the green paint, VIP paint, and violet paint in formula. Their special ability is that they make the spoiler harder to break so that downforce can be maintained.
Now, let's move on to a very important tip that has a lesson for some players who have made it.
Sometimes there is a very serious bug in the game that developers have not patched. Using it may result in a punishment. There were some bugs in Hill Climb Racing 2 that caused players who were using them to get banned. Some of them are coin glitches. Some players, such as Lucas, were banned for using one of them. But there was also a bug where you can save your special tickets and an ID bug, but I won't reveal how it works because at the time of writing the script for this video, this bug is not patched. However, you are probably wondering right now, what is the final 25th tip? So it's a very simple but also important tip. Just subscribe to Potato HCR2.